Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube series. We're going to be doing the IEM Katowice 2021 Overexplained games here. We're going to be taking a look at Game 6, Reynor versus Zest, Pillars of Gold, PvZ. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube or check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/ArchonSC2. Please hit that follow button if you enjoy any RTS titles or gameplay. So Pillars of Gold is a pretty balanced map, I think, for both players. Neither the Zerg player or the Protoss player mind this one too much. The third base is a little bit exposed, but it's not too bad in the way the game develops, because the third base is generally pretty safe for both players to take as the game starts here. Let's take a look again at our Protoss player, Zest. He does end up going out for that probe as soon as the game starts to go for the hat-trick block. He does drop down our 14 pylon. Nothing different than what we have already seen in the series. Just typical macro play so far. No cannon rushes. Nothing crazy. We're going to be seeing 16 gateway, I'm sure. There it is. 16 gateway. 17 gas. Your typical PvZ opener. Zerg is going for a hatchery at a location other than his natural, probably at the third base location. He does. Okay, Protoss is going to stop probing around 20 supply here, going into his nexus. Okay, nice. Nexus at 20. Protoss is going to cut probes here and finish his cybernetics core at 20 as well. Okay. Resume probe production. 21 gas. 22 pylon. Now Zest does opt to get 2 probes for the gas geyser impulse, one off of minerals, to saturate his gas economy, and he does chrono boost his nexus when the second gas finishes. He opts to get Stargate in place in lieu of the warp gate research. We're going to see that again here. Then he's going to resume the warp gate research. Restart it. We have 1 adept in production, non-chrono boosted. Natural finishes, he's going to chrono boost that immediately. He's going to save the chrono boost on the main nexus for the Stargate production, whether it be Void Ray or Oracle. He's going to get a second gateway to finish off that natural wall around 3 minutes and 10 seconds. He's going to be getting the Void Ray chrono boosted out from the main nexus. You should be thinking about a pylon and a gateway right about now. Pylon's coming down around 41. Around 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Gateway is coming down here around 320. More probes in production. So we'll see if he goes for the third base before gases or gases before third base. Oracle is going to be chrono boosted out here. So that's going to be the second chrono boost used on the Stargate. Pretty standard for Zest. Another chrono boost going down. Thought I heard it. Never mind. If not. Okay, third base goes down for Zest here. Zerg does scout it immediately. Pylon going down to accompany the adept. Keep him safe. Void Ray chasing away the scouting overlord here.
Research complete.
Oh, these overlords are pretty fast, aren't they? Double Stargate going down. We have gases 3 and 4 at the natural base here. Interestingly enough, the circling speed is very delayed.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
And Zest sees this. You must be thinking this must be a more economical opening to have no zergling speed. He's fixing his gases right now. Getting a pylon around 437, around 60 supply. Another Void Ray in production. It is not chrono boosted at the moment. He's chrono boosting his probes. Double chrono on probe. Around 445.
We meet our fate.
We're seeing Twilight Forge simultaneously, as you would normally see, after the double Stargate follow-up here. So we're going to see double Void Rays in production. What is being chrono boosted? Is it going to be the Stargates or the Nexi? It's going to be the Nexi again with the double chrono boost. So the Void Rays are no longer on being... After the first two chrono boosts, the Stargates are no longer being chrono boosted. It's going to go right onto the economy of the Protoss player. We'll see more pylons being dropped down, as you would expect, with this enhanced production of the double Stargate. We're going to see charge and +1, again, what you would expect in standard PvZ, simultaneously researching to finish around the same time. Void Rays are coming out. We have
Prismatic core online.
We have 4 Void Rays right now at the moment. We have Robo going down around 550. Will we see Templar Archives or will we see more Void Rays? We'll see. Templar Archives.
We meet our fate.
So there's going to be Templar Archives around 6 minutes. We may just see a 4th base around 7 minutes here as well. He's looking like he's setting up for a late game macro style PvZ. Again, we have that 3rd base gateway flood. We're going to see anywhere between 10 to 12 gateways is pretty standard. We have an observer coming out after that robot is finished. Observer to push back any creep, and of course scout what the Zerg is doing. We don't want to go too far forward with it though. The Oracle is going to be doing most of its job to revelate and see what the Zerg is doing, or if he has moved out on the map. So most of the scouting will be done by the Oracle revelation. See Archons coming out here with the first few Templar. It is not going to be saved for the Storm. Storm will get researched, but the first few Templars will be on Archon here. So the Protoss player does confirm Zerg's 4th base, just now starting mining. Interestingly enough, no 4th base yet from the Protoss player, just now going down around 7:12, about 12 seconds late. Looks like he is getting attacked by the Zergling. He restarts the 4th base. Pretty standard stuff so far. Yeah, he's going for those safety immortals once again. Interestingly enough, he does opt to go for double immortal or 2 to 3 immortal production in these games. Pretty interesting. It does keep you a little bit safer against Queen all-ins. And we are going to be seeing some Queen mobilizing. Nope, they're going to be sitting back. They do sit back, no movement there. So Zest does stop at 4 Void Rays. This is one of the reasons why... This is important to talk. This is one of the reasons why Zest can afford to go into 2 to 3 immortals, is because he stops the Void Ray count at 4. Other players may go into 8 Void Rays, I've seen. You can stop at around 8. I've seen that before with double Stargate builds. But Zest famously does stop at 4, which may be the right play. May just be a stylistic choice here. So you can't really do both. You can't go into Void Ray and Immortal simultaneously. So he does stop the Void Ray production to go into Immortals here, which I think is a good choice against if it is against Queen all-ins, it's a good choice. If it's a defensive macro game that goes into like late game, I think Void Rays will be better, because Void Rays are better against lurkers, I feel, and they're better against late game Zerg like Corruptors and everything else.
We embrace the glory light that I Research complete.
Okay, so he does going for the Immortal number 3. He has a few Templar for Storm. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got about 6 Templar for Storm here.
Mineral field depleted. You must construct additional. My light for iron.
Alright, so we do see a queen push out now from Zerg. We see a bunch of feedbacks being dropped. First few queens have been annihilated. This is a very scary Zerg army. I mean, we see a lot of Roach Ravager here. Roach Ravager Queen being pressed out here. This is where the Immortals are actually going to be good. This is kind of that Queen all-in. So the Immortals will get the most value in this game. And he has some energy for feedbacks in Storm. So this should be favorable for Protoss. The only downside, there's two downsides here. One downside is that there's only one battery and only one cannon here. Not a lot of static defense. And he has the minerals for static defense here. And there's no battery in cannon here in case the Zerg decides to push. Now, generally speaking, you do not want to have cannons or batteries at your natural. Only if the Zerg is going for this Queen all-in do you want to have cannons and batteries at your natural. Because if the Zerg pushes you here, you have nothing to fall back on. And if you have all these nice cannons and batteries over here, it doesn't really matter if the Zerg takes an engagement over here, for example. So this is kind of a late scout, I think, from Zest. He was doing a great job, mostly revelating and trying to see the queen movement, but then he kind of got caught off guard here, I feel. Let's take a quick look at that one more time. Again, his vision, what does he see? I guess he does see a few queens here. Does see him popping out, but I feel like he wasn't sure if this was going to be anything, or it might be just creep spread. I think he doesn't know about this just yet. It's very hard, though. I don't blame him. It's very hard to keep track of Zerg's movement. Because Protoss can't really be on the map,
depleted.
You know,
Mineral field depleted.
with anything but the Oracle.
Construct additional. My light for iron.
So, yeah, he kind of sees this a little bit late. Great feedback, so. Great feedbacks. Does a great job wiping out a couple queens. Great storms. Honestly, the storms have been perfect. Even manages to snag an Archon in the mix here. So, honestly, this has been great so far for Zest. But you got to look at the Zerg's army compared to the Protoss's army, right? It's, you see 3 Immortals, 4 Void Rays, you know, a couple Archons, and an Adept here. Unfortunately, you know, he needs to get a warp in cycle like now, and this might just be too much. At the end of the day, Zerg is maxed out still, and Protoss is at 130 supply. About a 55 supply difference for Zerg here. It's not looking good for Zest, especially if he gets hit by these vials like he is right now. Does activate the supercharged battery or at the third base. It's not looking great.
I return to serve.
Not looking great. Just keep in mind, the Protoss army, even though it looks like he's holding, you gotta realize that the Zerg is gonna be rallying more stuff. And forget about the fact that it's 96 supply against 171. Look at the Protoss's army. He has no Templar to fall back on, no Storm, no Archons. He's got 3 Zealots, 3 Immortals, and a Void Ray. I mean, this is very bad. I mean, Zest is gonna die to the follow-up attack here. He's got a lot of gas, so maybe if he managed to now warp in some Zealots, maybe he warps in some Templar. I mean, he doesn't have enough time to wait for Storm, but if maybe if he makes some Archons, he's okay. What he needed to have here is some additional cannons and batteries. As dumb as it sounds, without cannons and batteries, Protoss can't really hold very well against some of these attacks. Doesn't manage to get those Archons in.
I return to serve.
Yeah, the downside of the Immortals are they just die as well to the Roaches even. The unit that they're supposed to be countering, like you can see here. Without the batteries, if you had the additional Void Rays, maybe. That's gonna be GG. That's gotta be GG.
Our pylon is under attack.
GG. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. Zest is dead. Let's take a quick look again. What could have done better? I mean, he played perfectly, really.
Construct additional.
The only thing that he did wrong was not make the additional static defense structures. The cannons and batteries at each base, cannons and batteries here. Hell, even cannons and batteries a little bit more here. He needs to just have like bronze level static defense structures. What these 700 minerals needs to go into like 3 more cannons and 3 more batteries.
We embrace the
So the fight is fine. I mean, he microed well for what he had. He just didn't have enough. The Zealot run by. What did this get done? Did this get anything done?
twilight for hire.
We cannot hold.
Does do a little damage here.
Mineral field depleted.
At the end of the day, it does do a little bit of damage.
Twilight
This
for
was pretty
hire.
good.
Mineral field depleted.
But is it enough?
We embrace the glory of battle.
I mean, it wasn't bad. The Zealot run by was fine, but the thing is, the Zealot run by doesn't mean anything if you lose the fight. You need to win the fight. You need to not die, right? You need to not die. And I feel like having the additional void rays would be better than having the 3 mortals. I feel like having the 8 void rays, 0 mortals might be better here. Because if he kills these queens, if he has 4 more void rays, 3 less immortals, if he kills these queens here, then the void rays can just finish off the Roach Ravager. I feel like maybe compromise, maybe get like 6 void rays, 1 immortal, instead of getting like 3 immortals and 4 void rays. I feel like it is a mistake not to get more than 4 void rays if you are going for double Stargate, especially. If you're going for only 4 void rays, I don't think you need the second Stargate even.
I have met your enemy.
The merging is complete.
Protoss did a lot of economic damage. He killed 16 workers.
Twilight for hire.
It's just not enough.
I return to serve.
Yeah, imagine if he had like additional 3 void rays right now. He cleans this up pretty effectively.
Twilight for hire.
I mean, I would be in panic mode right now. I mean, I would be just dropping like 16 batteries at this moment and warping in. Just warping. Spend your minerals on batteries and cannons, and spend your gas on Archons and Templar. That would be the only thing in the turtle op. You gotta be turtling like so hard right now. But realistically, he's in so much trouble.
Cassant de Templar.
He just needs more cannons and batteries. If he had more cannons and batteries, honestly, this could be a win for the Protoss player. He's queuing up. He needed to queue up some additional void rays too. See how he's queuing up 2 immortals? Yeah, not to criticize Zest, but he needs to just queue this up. He has the resources for it. Just double void ray right now, or even a little bit before now. Imagine if he has like a if he has 2 more void rays popping out right now and 1 more immortal popping out right now. This fight might be better. Still is going to be very hard, but it'll be better.
I return to serve.
You see how fast these immortals just die to like roaches. The Archons die. Everything dies. Feel so bad for Zest, man. GG.